Hi guys, so I'm back with just a short video today regarding some breaking news that came out this morning regarding the world of football. Well, if you're a football fan or more a Liverpool Football Club fan, then you'll have heard by now that very sadly Diogo Jota, Liverpool forward, has passed away in a tragic car accident in Spain. I believe it was this morning or last night. I think it was this morning, and that's hence why it was breaking news. And I think the mood that football fans in general are feeling, especially Liverpool fans, it's just shock and devastated. It's just this is something like this is so rare. It's so few and far between when a footballer still young, still in his 20s, tragically passes away. Um, you know, it's just when's the last time this happened? At such a young age, it's shocking, man. He was he was only 28 years of age, and it wasn't just him. Apparently, it was his brother who was also in the car. We haven't got exclusive details of what exactly happened. Did the car combust? Was it a collision with another car? Were they going a bit too fast? I believe it was in like a Lamborghini. That's all I know from seeing. I'm sure more details will be on the news tonight. And another heartbreaking fact is he only got married 2 weeks ago to his longtime PR partner, his longtime fiance. Only just 2 weeks ago. It was on his Instagram. They had a lovely wedding with all the friends and family, and she's only married 2 weeks, and then he involved in a fatal car accident. Oh man, it is just heartbreaking. I've already heard in the radio people will pay football fans in general are paying their respects, not just because Liverpool fans. I think even Keir Starmer said something. Jurgen Klopp's paid tribute. I can only imagine what his poor family are going through right now. He had 3 kids. I'm sure his newlywed wife. God, what is she going to be going through right now? His teammates at Liverpool, I'm sure he had a lot of friends at the club. He was a Liverpool player for 5 years. We signed him in 2020 from Wolves. So he's been at the club for 5 years, and I'm sure he's made a lot of friends with the staff and the players. So can you imagine what they're all going through? I think the fans have already been paying their respects at Anfield. They've been putting flowers and wreaths down outside the stadium in respect for him, and scarves and shirts. He was a terrific player for 5 seasons. What a player he was. I'm going to go over his stats in a minute. It just still hasn't fully sunk in that he's passed away. It's 28 years of age, and he only recently won the UEFA Super League playing for Portugal recently. And it wasn't that long ago. He was with all the players and the staff on the pitch at Anfield lifting that Premier League trophy. Now, I was actually watching Match of the Day last night, and he was getting interviewed saying how proud he was. We've won the title in front of the fans, and what a great season it's been. And then this happened the next day. So, it's just crazy. So I'm just going to go over his stats as a player. So obviously he started off in Portugal because of being Portuguese. He was at Porto for a while. 38 goals he scored. He was at another Portuguese division team, Pacos de Ferreira. 47 goals for them. And then obviously went to Wolves. I'm sure Wolves fans are gutted as well. What a player he was for Wolves for quite a few years. 44 goals he scored for Wolves in 131 games and 19 assists. And then in 2020, we signed him for 40 million, I believe. It was a great signing. What a great run he had at Wolves. So we're thinking this is a very good signing. And yeah, for 5 years, he's been a terrific player at Liverpool, scoring 65 goals and 26 assists in 182 games. He did have his injury problems. I think a lot of fans will say he probably could have got more goals and more assists if he hadn't have had a few injury spells on the side. But no fan could ever question how good of a finisher he was. Whenever he was on the pitch, you're thinking, okay, as I called him with my dad, Jota the Slaughter, he was going to get a goal, probably an even better finisher than Mo Salah. And 65 goals is certainly not to be snuffed at in 182 games and 26 assists. Of course, he was a national player as well for the Portuguese national team, alongside Ronaldo and a few other proud Portuguese players. 49 games he played for Portugal with 14 goals. Of course, just recently winning the UEFA Super League. Trophies that we won while he was a player. Jota with Liverpool. Of course, the Premier League just recently, an FA Cup under Klopp, and of course 2 League Cups under Klopp as well. And of course, we had that very close title race season when Jota was a first teamer, wasn't he, in 2022? So it's heartbreaking, man. I'm sure that, like I said, I can imagine what his family and his friends are going through, his fellow players at Liverpool. I'm sure there's going to be lots of tributes for the next few days. There's going to be a lot of sad videos from fellow Liverpool fans, fan channels. I'm sure, because our pre-season friendlies are coming up, there's going to be a few minutes silence or minutes applause for him. And when the season begins, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of Jota chants and a big memorial in the Kop for him, I'm certain, for the first game of the season in mid-August. Oh, so anyway, fellow Liverpool fans, what are your thoughts on this shocking news? Comment below, let me know. What was your favourite memory of Diogo Jota as a football player? He did score some great goals. I think the last goal he scored at Anfield was when he did that to the Kop. I think that was one. Can't remember what quite game that was. But one of the last games of the season. What a player, man! You know, he was still in his prime. I still think I assume he was going to stay at Liverpool for another few seasons. He was more of a on the bench a bit more last season, I think, because I think Slot preferred Salah, Diaz, and Gakpo up front, didn't he? But if you needed a goal, Jota did come on. If he came on, he felt like he definitely had a goal in him, because, like I said, he was such a good finisher. But guys, what are your thoughts on this tragic passing of Diogo Jota, of just 28 years of age? Comment below, let me know. Absolutely gutted. But like I said, I'm sure there's going to be some tributes and heartfelt videos from the fans and ex-players. And well, yeah, guys. So the club have obviously put out an official announcement on Facebook and Instagram. So yeah, guys, thanks you all for watching. Just like I said, just a short 7-minute video. Oh man, so thank you all for watching, guys. Rest in peace, Diogo Jota. Speak to you all soon.